Hello everyone, and welcome to Beastieball. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to start a match already. Alright, I guess we're starting sooner. These are my Beasties on my current competitive team, and they are massively overleveled for this area, so we're just going to go ahead and toss this ball away for the free ball, but I'll just go ahead and explain quickly how a match of Beastieball works. So, one of the teams will start off by serving. The other team will then be able to take their turn with 3 actions, and the defensive team gets 1 action to try and respond. I'm just checking what my opponents have. Force of habit. It's a very good habit to get into, in fact. And this is very precious, so we're gonna let them go ahead and do this. Because they're sweethearts, so they support each other. This is obviously not allowed in competitive, because trying to farm for the correct thing would not be very nice. And since I'm over leveled, I'm gonna go ahead and free ball it away to them again. Now you'll see here, they actually applied Tender, which halves my defense, and actually prevents me from using Shield here, because it wouldn't do anything even if I did. So what I'm going to go ahead and do instead is switch into my other support beastie. Just for the moment, going to pretend like they're actually doing something threatening. And then, yeah. So then we can use this move, Dispel, which makes our allies ball volleyed. Otherwise, to make the ball volleyed, we just have to toss the ball to our partner. And now you can see I can click the careful shot. So these are attacks, the ones with a heart, a fist, or a, is there a, yes, mine attacks have an eye symbol. And these are spirit attacks with the heart, so it's like they're like pep and confidence and all that kind of stuff. The body ones are all about like, physical prowess, and then the mind attacks are about like messing with your opponent and like, yeah, that sort of thing. We will go ahead and toss this back to our crew folks on this match though. And you can see there, when you score in an empty lane, you get a point. This is a surprise tool that will help us later. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take on a away team. Now this is somebody's like beasties that they want to train up. So this is another real player's team that's been sent out into the world. Oh my gosh, they deal a lot of damage with that. And then they have Air Blast too. Okay, this is a very aggressive team, away team. So what we can see here is that they have shield. We don't want them to click shield when we attack them, because then we'll do basically no damage, even though we're hardly doing anything anyways. Hyper Spike and Air Blast are both like big damage moves. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and play this one out for real. So one thing that you'll notice here, so this beastie's ability is flitting, which means that it can't be blocked, and this one's his launcher, which means it always targets straight forward, but it does more damage. So they're probably gonna volley flex air blast, I believe. Yeah, and then flex is just like a power boost. You can use these support moves with the whistle whenever you're not holding the ball, and you can use these ball moves with a Beastieball, not a volleyball, obviously. I don't know what that is even. That's not a real sport. Whenever you are holding the ball, and this one shifts them to the front row. They're already in the front row, so there's no reason why they click that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is click shield here to defend our side. And maybe if they, no, they're going to attack over here. That's right. And what you notice there is Protector actually popped up on the screen there for a second. So what that does is it increases my spirit power whenever an ally receives an attack. So now I have more damage. And I could click Faith here if I wasn't angry, which forces me to only use attacks. I have no attacks, so this beastie can't do anything right now. And then my Scream made them noisy, so this attack is always going to go into this beastie. So what we're probably going to do is run forward, volley the ball, and then just click Scream into this slot to do damage. Then they would wipe me out here, either of these attacks. So we're just going to assume that they're going to try and attack into Jelly Cake here, and I'm going to run back to try and have Warrior protect me. We'll get to how that works right after I get back control of the controls. Okay, so you see there again, right, they tried to target Jelly Cake, but the attack got pulled into Warriors. That's because of Warrior's ability, which is Watchtower. So it ends up receiving attacks in place of its adjacent allies. So if Fruit Folks was standing in the front here, right, like this, right, the attack would have still hit because they're not adjacent. But since I had them back here and I just undid my move because I didn't want to do that, maybe. I gotta think about what I want to do here. Probably step forward Faith here. We might not. We might... Okay, so we're gonna use Faith to boost the power again, and then we're just gonna try and sustain with Warrior. So we're gonna click Shake Off, which heals for 20 and clears all feelings. And then they're gonna tag out Riplash here, their Ocastle. And we're gonna go ahead and land a huge hit into Brittany here. Boom! And now, the ball's not volleyed. So if they want to click Air Blast to do big damage into Fruit Folks, they think that it's gonna get redirected. They're going to have to click Volley and then click Volley again, because you only get 3 actions during your turn, and the final one has to be an attack in almost all situations. Yeah, so that doesn't do enough to wipe Warrior. I'm just looking at the damage calculations here that the game gives me. Air Blast will do 54 damage, Warrior has 58 HP, so we're chilling. Splitter and Scream both don't do enough damage even if they step forward, or if they're, Starboard steps forward. So what we're going to go ahead and do is click Battle Cry, which makes the active team feel jazzed, which is essentially the equivalent of a 1-turn power boost. Which is very good. Because it also, like, ignores stat drops. You can think of it like a crit in Pokemon, but it's something that you control because there is no RNG in Beastieball. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do here. So they're gonna tag out. Oh wait, no, they might actually just click Shield this turn. Well, that's mighty irritating. Okay, well in that case, we're just gonna go ahead and volley the ball. Click Scream. If they do tag out, then no, but they're not. Oh, and Jelly Cake actually went down there. That's very unfortunate. So what we're probably gonna do is tag out into Digglefluff here. And Warrior is gonna steal this attack, which is rather unfortunate because that means that it goes down. But they need 2 points to win because this is a non-ranked match rather than a match against wild beasties. We'll bring in our other support here. Oh, they use Spitter. Interesting. So we're definitely going to click an attack with Digglefluff this turn. Question is which attack. Oh, actually what we're going to do here, I think the AI is going to shield. So I'm going to use Nettle which reduces a target's stamina by 20 on Brittany here. And then I will... Actually, I have Raw Fury. So I will go ahead and Dispel, which makes my ally's ball volleyed. So it's like I passed the ball to my friend, but rather than having to pass and pass back to get Digglefluff to attack, I can now attack right away. So now, if they click Shield, I can use Raw Fury, which goes through all of the opponent's boosts, and always goes where targeted. Let's see if things go as predicted. Yes, they did. All according to plan. Because the thing with Tough normally is, right? If you have 2 or more HP while you feel tough, there's actually no amount of damage that will make the beastie wiped, and it also quarters damage, so it can be really bad to hit into shield. Sometimes you want to hit into it to force them to use it, though. And all the other beasties on the opposing team are really low level, so this is going to be GG. That's entirely fair. They're just sending out this team to get these beasties some practice, because then they'll go back to their game, and it'll say, like, this team played against the Dazzling Lovers, and, you know, that allows them to get some easy XP, and it allows me to earn some money and XP for my beasties and charge my social battery. Oh, Digglefluff and Jellycake keep challenging each other to get stronger. They've become rivals. Digglefluff has grown apart from Spira. Understandable. Well, 2 of our beasties are wiped, so what we're going to go ahead and do is run back over and heal up at a zip station. Pay no attention to the man flipping floppy disks and frying them up like they're pancakes. It's entirely normal here in GeoCity. So now what I'd like to go ahead and show you is, rather than me doing an example game, we'll go ahead and show you some of my replays versus the musical girls. Yeah, this is technically old. It's just a new experimental version. Nothing really changed, so it should work fine. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Now I can expect. So you can see here, I use muscle memory, which did 78 damage into this Opasser here. But they use Stinky on my Crawler, which means that it's not allowed to do damage. And now, what they're threatening is, if they step forward and use Dump, which has to be used from the net, they're gonna score a point unless I move up one of my beasties. But if I don't tag out a beastie, then Crawler won't be able to attack, or Crobble here, the Crawler, won't be able to attack next turn because it feels shook. You can see shook, can't attack right there. Yeah. So let's see. Step 1 forward, so they volleyed. They actually boosted their attack here. So what they're looking to catch me out here is, right, if I ran forward to intercept the dump, this will be enough damage to kill. And if not, then they can still force out one of my beasties. And here we go. The attack goes into Crawler. I did think that they were going to go for dump, so now I am in a very awkward situation where the only way that I can realistically do damage is clicking Nettle here on Brainella to do 20 stamina of damage. Crawler can't do any damage, so not a lot that they can do here. So I click Nettle again, and now here's the thing, right? Free Ball may do basically nothing, just 1 damage, but it doesn't need to be volleyed to work. So, since I removed all of the stamina from this beastie, 1 damage would be enough to take it down. Unfortunately, my opponent here decided to tag out. And I should clarify, right, the timing on these. I choose right now, from this position, just looking at what they have, what to do on my defensive turn. They do all of their 3 actions. So let's see that right now, right? They use provoke, they air blast, right? So now my defensive action would fire. I forget what I chose. Maybe like pump up here or something. I think I just did nothing because nothing mattered. So now here, my opponent has to click Tornado Ball or Free Ball. And current me is thinking, okay, they're gonna Tornado Ball into the crawler spot, probably. So what would I like to have next to Brainella here while anchored? Well, definitely not Bandicoot, because Bandicoot has no attack, so don't worry about the fact that there's an illegal play in Bandicraft, so it doesn't show up anymore. That's very funny that that works that way. Okay, that's what it meant by out of date. Oh well, what are we gonna do? So yeah, but I believe I tag out into Spearow here. Oh, actually, Digglefluff. Okay, that's very smart. Because then if they win into the other slot, I would still have 2 attackers in instead of being able to do nothing. Now, unfortunately here, I'm not really able to do anything. I just have to volley the ball over here, and if I use Careful Shot, they're just going to run forward and take the attack. So I have to volley back to Spearow and get basically nothing done on this turn. They ran forward to dodge the to stop the Careful Shot, and it's like I called it correctly, but my position's not any better because Air Blast almost wipes my Beastie before Faith. So, and I believe here I should have stepped back because they use Provoke here to make me angry, so I can't block. So if I'd stepped back or something like that, then I would have actually lived this hit. Unfortunately, in my brain, I forgot that Tortanker has Provoke, so I just let Spearow go down there. Now this is not an amazing situation, you might say, because my opponent's bench is doing very well, and I only have 1 real attacker left. I do tag out correctly, so what happened there, right? I tag out into Bandicoot, presuming that they're going to Tornado Ball into this slot. Crawlurk isn't a valid target to be switched in with Tornado Ball. Oh, I should clarify what Tornado Ball does. It forces a target to tag out. Okay? So, when it hits a Beastie, the next available Beastie from the bottom of the bench will be switched in. So by tagging in Bandicoot here, no matter which slot they attack into, I'm going to end up with Digglefluff on the field. Because Crowble is still wiped, so it can't be chosen. So then Digglefluff is what gets switched in. And here I'm going to Dispel Nettle, I think, hopefully. Oh god, I went for the... okay. Okay, let me explain what happened there. So I went for the Nettle, right, which is nice and all, I think. Did I not go for the Nettle? Okay, well I was just being silly then. So here comes the super commit. I'm trying to force it to stay in the back. Of course, they do have forward pass here, which shifts their ally to the front row. So this is not going to go well. Take huge damage on Crobble, and this game's basically over, right? They've rested. They have basically a full HP bench. I do have another Beastie to come in, but after that, I'm kind of done. And now they bring back in Sydney so that they can use Faith again. And I should clarify, the way that they're making it to the net over and over is with Captain, which shifts an ally forward when you volley to them, and Air Blasts can only be used at the net and then shifts you to the back row, so it's a really good synergy between those two. And here, I have to predict, do I think that it's going to attack into Brainella or into Crobble? And I guess wrong, and that is the game.